welcome to my channel, or welcome back. This is Coconut. My name is Kat. I'm a licensed registered dietitian nutritionist and online nutrition coach. I focus in on sports nutrition, digestive health, prenatal nutrition, as well as overall practices that support physical, mental, social, and emotional well-being. Y'all, I made the Boo Reps mad. We made the Boo Reps mad, and we need to talk about it. We're also talking about a quick update from the BOO, or Black Oxygen Organic CEO. We're talking about more BOO claims, also talking about BeachBody and Modere, which we have never talked about here on this channel before. So if that sounds good to you, let's go. I also wanted to give a huge shout out, just like in my last video, to MLM-Mombie and her group BOO is Woo, as well as David and his group BOO Seekers of the Truth, both linked in the description below. Just a side note, I will be heading into maternity leave late next month. I cannot believe how fast this is going. It feels like I just got into this, like the very beginning parts of the second trimester. So it's kind of wild how fast this is all going. I was actually supposed to be having my baby shower in person this weekend when I'm recording this, but just because with everything going on with Delta, even though I'm fully vaccinated, I just didn't want to risk it. We're still having it online, virtual, so it should still be lots of fun. I'm just trying to figure out how videos are going to look towards the end of next month, but we'll figure that out later. Just wanted to throw that out there. All right, y'all, so we got some Boo Reps mad at me, mad at y'all. Let's take a quick look at what some of them said. I don't mind if people are frustrated at me or like make comments about that. I start to get more concerned whenever they are commenting on other people's comments, like and being rude about it, calling names and things of that nature, just as a side note. So let's see what a couple of them said. Someone said, Black Oxygen Organic saved my life. I ate plenty of dirt as a kid, and you sound like someone who they probably fired and you are trying to get even. As for me, I will be a local customer for the rest of my life. If you want to be a customer of BOO, I cannot stop you. You do you, BOO. But if anyone is concerned, I have never worked for BOO. I heard about BOO for the first time last month in like mid-August 2021. Right now it is the very beginning of September, and I have never been fired from a job. Not that that would matter, but just putting that out there. Another one said, you like doing the bidding of Big Pharma, do you? How much are they paying ya? Apparently Big Pharma owes me money. I'm waiting for it. I don't know who to contact about getting this money, but if anyone knows, let me know. I'm apparently also supposed to be getting paid by Big Food, so just help me out. Let me know where I can get that check. I think actually that same person said, anytime a sheeple says from a reputable source, it means approved by the government. Which my question to that is, do you not think other countries do research as well? United States is not the only country in the world. There's a lot that we know about science from other countries, and just because something is reputable doesn't mean that it is approved by government, whether here or elsewhere. Some of these I have to believe they are just trolls because the logic. Someone else said a whole lot of things, including that they hope that I'm on a permanent do not sell list. And then the same person said that I'm in favor of spreading lies, and because I've never consumed the product, how can I really say that it doesn't work? How can I give my opinion or do a review if I haven't tried it? Same person said that I'm an idiot, I'm learning disabled, and that they pray I never need it. You don't have to personally try a supplement in order to recommend it or not recommend it. Same thing like with doctors. They don't have to personally get on chemotherapy in order to order it for someone. They don't personally have to try kidney dialysis in order to order it for someone. When I'm working with patients, I don't have to personally try their specific kind of medical nutrition therapy protocols or specific supplementation. That's not how it works. On the food safety side, like I don't have to personally try raw chicken that's been sitting on the counter for 5 days to know not to recommend it. I can look at what the evidence says and what the recommendations are and make my conclusions from there. Last thing I'll say about this person specifically is that the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. I'll check to see if I missed any, but I'm not really seeing any fruit of that here. So you might want to refocus that prayer, potentially. Oh, and then one more to add on. This is a different person though. They said parasites are everywhere. Most have, only idiots deny. There's some dashes in there. So this person hasn't responded to me yet, but I just want to be sure that I'm understanding them correctly and that I'm not putting words in their mouth, but they are saying that they know more than the person who I used, who I quoted in my video about Boo, who has her PhD in parasitology. I don't know if this person has their PhD in parasitology as well, but we'll see, I guess. Now, please don't go attacking them. The reason why I chose to share those with the names blurred out or scratched out is just so that y'all can be aware. This is what we are dealing with. These are the kind of distributors, the logic, at least the people who are supporters of Boo who have commented about it. I have not received a comment from a supporter of Boo who has had like great interaction. The comments are like the ones that I've shown here. Just letting you know what we're dealing with here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about Boo, starting with an update from their CEO. Marc actually put this video out to address the rumors that are going around about Boo. So I really wanted to give him a chance to respond to those rumors that people are talking about on all of social media. So let's see what he has to say.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this beautiful world. I just thought I'd come on Zoom and record a few things that is circulating around our company. And sometimes, you know, if I can be of any service to explain to you what they are, maybe some people will have peace of mind. So I want to talk about the certificate of analysis. There's a lot of people out there that have been asking for the certificate of analysis and saying that we don't have one. Well, as a matter of fact, we do. We have one.
No one is saying that Boo doesn't have a certificate of analysis. What people are saying is that it is now 2021, towards the end of 2021, like we're in September already. The last certificate of analysis was in 2017.
That was made in 2017. There was one made in 2015. It was made in 2010, and it goes back to 1994. So we do regular certificate of analysis. And those of you that are asking for this new one,
having one in 2017, 2015, 2010, and 1994 is not having regular certificates of analysis go out.
You will get one. And the reason why we didn't really push to get a new one is because we were working on new formulas. We were actually working on a new process.
The reason why they didn't push to get another one out since 2017 was because they were working on new formulas. Marc, you are not the person in charge of doing the third-party testing. That it's done by a third-party testing. You are not in charge of doing the certificate of analysis. That is done by a completely unrelated company. They do all the work and they give you the information afterwards. You can still work on the new formulas or new products and not have to work on the certificate of analysis.
Increased quality of process, which means a better understanding of what the COA is to actually see what the mineral content is. And a lot of you are seeing what the arsenic levels are, and are there any bacteria, and are there any coliform? Well, let me tell you this. Mud, fulvic comes from mud. So yes, it's extracted at 60 feet deep. We bring it to our warehouse and we freeze dry it. We get rid of the water. And most of the coliform and bacteria live in water. And so when we do remove that, we do it through a lyophilization process, which is freeze dried. And from there, it kills most of the bad bacteria.
It kills most of the bad bacteria. That right there should say a lot. And the fact that so many distributors are recommending these products to people who have who are immunocompromised is a concern. If you're getting just most of the bacteria out, and he said most of the bad bacteria out, I could maybe understand if the product was meant to be boiled and it was meant to like make this kind of tea, which dirt tea, ugh, it sounds disgusting. But the fact that people are just scooping it out and adding it to their water and drinking it, no.
Bear in mind that we also need good bacteria, because all these good bacteria work in your biome and works on your digestive system and on your intestinal flora. So there needs to be good bacteria. So there's always two sides to the coin.
But the thing is that he just said that it kills most of the bad bacteria. We're not talking about the good bacteria right now. And speaking of the good bacteria, yes, we do need good bacteria in our digestive system. That's part of having a healthy digestive system overall. However, we cannot make this kind of blanket statement that giving certain kinds of bacteria or probiotics to all groups of people, that it's going to be good for them. Like, we can't do that. Everybody's gut microbiome is going to be different. Some things that can be really helpful for another person might not react the same way in a different person. And so anytime that there is a specific kind of bacteria promoting like a probiotic and people are kind of giving a blanket statement over it, that is a really big red flag for me as a digestive focused registered dietitian. For more info on that specifically, check out my gut health video. I'll leave it linked up in the cards.
But rest assured that when we do extraction process, we are binded by a lot of good manufacturing practice, and we make sure that there's no bad bacteria in our product. So we went ahead and
he literally just contradicted himself by saying it kills most of it and then saying now that there's no bad bacteria, but that it kills most of that bacteria. What is it?
And started a process with an independent laboratory to do the COA. And it's in the process now, and you will have access to that very, very soon with an independent report. And that will put a lot of people at ease with that COA. The other thing I want to talk about is this toxic waste process, or this toxic waste area where we extract our mud. I mean, if we would extract toxic waste, we would still be in business?
That's what we're trying to figure out. And we're not getting a whole lot of answers.
I mean, it just amazes me to hear that. But what I can tell you is there is a waste site close to the bog. It's privately owned. And the gentleman that owns this.
So there's a waste site close to the bog. Doesn't matter who it's owned by, there's a waste site close to the bog.
Site had peat in it. And what he did is he dug the peat out. What's at the bottom of a peat bog? It's clay. Clay's permeable, which means that when you put something in there and you cover it up, it doesn't seep into the soil. So it actually is environmentally friendly and very good. And the toxic waste area is organic material. So
doesn't matter if the toxic waste area is organic material or not, it's still a toxic waste area. Just because something is organic, so organic meaning like carbon based, like it's made out of carbon, like organic chemistry, doesn't mean that it can't have harmful effects or that it's not toxic or whatever. So he's confirming, it sounds to me, this is a question, I don't know what it sounds like to you, but the fact that he said the waste site, there is a waste site close to the bog, he's confirming everything that we're saying, right? That there is that landfill close to the bog.
We are looking at all of these waste materials from, I think, radiation up in Pembroke or in Chalk River, where it's about 200 kilometers from where we're at. So there is no toxic waste or radiation waste in our bog.
We're not talking about radiation waste coming from a bog or coming from a landfill or some site that's 200 kilometers away. We're talking about the waste that's in the landfill that is close to the bog, as you mentioned. The waste site that is close to the bog. I haven't heard of anyone talking about the radiation waste. We're just talking about the actual, like, what you would expect in an average landfill, that kind of waste.
And we do the extraction strictly from an environmentally friendly, and we have the extraction right from the natural resources, which actually helps us in determining that area where there's no pollution. We don't destroy the ecosystem. We actually dig more in the wintertime when everything is sleeping, so we don't destroy the butterflies and the insects and the birds and the animals. And so we do the extraction by taking care of Mother Earth.
Okay, but it's still next to that place.
And we are very conscious of what we do when we do the extraction. I really want to address the brand partners in Canada. And I want to address maybe rumors, some who heard about what's going on with the products and Health Canada. So we did get a call from Health Canada last month stating that someone had an adverse reaction to the products. And so I asked which product it was, and it was the tab. And knowing the ingredients in the product, we all know that Fulvic doesn't have adverse reactions.
We all know that Fulvic doesn't have adverse reactions. Not according to all the sources that list the possible side effects or possible reactions from consuming that as a supplement.
And the other active ingredient was ascorbic acid. And so I asked...
By the way, that's just vitamin C. So it was either the fulvic acid or the vitamin C.
More details, but of course, confidential. And I wasn't able to get the answer. And so the other ambiguity in all of this issue is that we had different formulas. When we started back in 2015, we had a liquid form. Those of you who started straight from the beginning know that we had a challenge with the liquid at that point. And so the liquid formula changed twice. Then we went into a round tab inside of a pouch. That was another formula. And then from the pouch, we went into the tab in a box, in a blister pack. And that was also another formula. As a matter of fact, 2 other formulas. So with all this ambiguity around the tab, Health Canada and Black Oxygen have decided to recall all of the products.
Health Canada and Black Oxygen decided to recall the products. I'm not sure there was a choice in BOO doing that if they wanted to continue selling it. Just saying.
And one of the reasons we're doing that is to protect, of course, the public, number one, but also protect the brand partner and also to protect Black Oxygen Organics. Now, does it have consequences? Yeah, of course. Consequences of being mad, consequences of being frustrated, consequences of not having access to the products, knowing that even I, having used the products for 30 some odd years without any adverse reaction, it makes me mad. It makes me upset. And you have a right to have that same feeling.
That's a good example of someone basing something off anecdotal evidence. Just because it is okay for one person doesn't mean that it's going to be okay for everybody and for all of these different kind of ailments either. That's an anecdote, and just somebody who is recommending any kind of supplementation, they should never base them off anecdotes. That's a really bad practice.
Because I didn't get in this business other than to make someone healthier, and I truly believe that the products are still healthy. Now we're doing that to protect all of the customers and all of you, the brand partners. And I'm asking you to be patient. I'm asking you to understand, because we are also working on new products. We're also working on new formulas, and they will come, and they will come.
Why do they need to have new products and new formulas if their current product is like perfect and so natural and the best thing ever? A lot of the BOO distributors are acting like BOO is just the best thing ever created. And so how are they going to, do they even want new formulas and new products? Because that just doesn't make any sense. Why, if they already have such a perfect thing?
Really fast, and we're working on that. And so be patient. Know that we are continuing our process of selling wellness products with the utmost professional way of producing products, making sure that they're standard and they're up to the standards of all of you and all of the staff, and especially myself. And so stay tuned for the new products. Stay tuned for what we're going to do, and let's keep pushing forward. Have a great day.
All right, so that is the update. That is the full video. Things are changing fast in the BOO world, and so I just wanted to share that with you. I didn't expect to do an update this fast, but here we are. Okay, so the next 2 videos are not nutrition related. They're actually outside of my expertise of where I feel like I can give a good response about them, but it's kind of a call for someone. I really want to get in touch with the radiobiologist, which radiobiology is a field of clinical and basic medical sciences that involves the study of the action of ionizing radiation on living things, especially health effects of radiation. If that is you or someone you know, let me know. I would love to chat. Remember, staying within scope is very important because we have so much misinformation already out here. We don't need any more. So these 2 videos are basically a call for an expert to analyze. So this first one, I didn't know if this was a troll because it honestly seems like a troll kind of video. But it actually has her URL, her distributor URL on there, and I went to it. It is legit. She is actually a BOO distributor. So let's watch.
Do you blow dry your hair a lot? I don't. But when I do, I know that I'm protected from radiation from my hair dryer straight into my brain with BOO. Because BOO not only helps combat radiation, it also crosses the blood-brain barrier, meaning that any radiation that's in my head from me caring about superficial things like having straight hair, I know I'm protected with BOO. Because that's going to go straight through my blood-brain barrier and take out all that radiation and put it in the toilet.
So she is saying BOO passes the blood-brain barrier, which is an actual thing, and it takes out the radiation, pulls it out, and puts it into the toilet. I'm not sure that's how it works. I'm not going to say anything about the radiation side of things, but as far as BOO crossing the blood-brain barrier, No. I would love to see some evidence about that. And specifically it pulling the radiation out and putting it in the toilet. I would just put it out there that if I ever were to, this is never going to happen, but if I ever was a distributor for BOO or any other kind of supplement, if I'm not going to like fully understand it, if I can't explain the process and give that good educated opinion about it, I'm not going to be talking about it. And I get frustrated at the fact that there's so many people out here who are recommending specific kind of supplementation things when it's just based off anecdotal evidence or like just what they see on the customer or on the distributor groups and these pictures that are like, oh, that's great, I'm gonna just share with everybody, not fact checking it. Like that is a huge problem in the supplement industry, and we see it a lot also in the MLM industry. Okay, so this next video is in a similar area of thought as the last one.
All right, everybody, Black Oxygen Organics 5G. This is going to be a fun video. Bear with me. I'm going to use a lot of terms, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible as well. So, this is the first question, number one. Does Black Oxygen Organics help with 5G? Simple answer, yeah, absolutely.
So when I hear that, my immediate thing is, oh, it's going to help me have a better phone signal. That's not what they mean, and I'm sure you're aware of that.
So let's break it down. The problem with the 5G, it's an electrical radiation signal basically coming in. And so here's the biggest thing. In order for you to not be affected by this EMF signal coming in, your own signal has to be stronger than the one coming in. So that way your body can differentiate you versus other signal. The other problem too is this is non-ionizing radiation. Basically this 5G hits you, creates free radicals, for lack of a better way. It makes you rust. For lack of a better, this is the easiest way to put it. It oxidizes you so that you start rusting, and that's basically how this works, which lowers, levels of superoxide dismutase. It lowers levels of glutathione, which are basically your super powerful antioxidants. So it also will cause cell membrane depolarization as well through something called calcium voltage ion channels, which regulate basically osmotic diffusion gradients. What does that mean? It basically means when the signal comes in, there's little cell receptors which are called calcium voltage ion channels. And they basically control when the cell depolarizes and when it doesn't, also controlling the osmotic diffusion gradient, basically what can get in easily and what can get out easily, because our cells rely on a very, 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 very specific balance of minerals inside the cell and different ones outside the cell. So through osmotic diffusion.
So because we have that very, very, very specific balance of minerals inside and outside, then if it's very specific, we're able to keep it very specific as well. And so we're not going to need all of this additional kind of supplementation. Like, yes, up to a certain point, absolutely, we can get deficient in things, but our bodies are really great at making sure that we are staying where we need to stay for as long as we can. Kind of the same idea with the alkaline diet. It's healthy because it's promoting a lot of vegetables, a lot of produce overall. It's not that it's alkaline, that's the reason why it's healthy. It's healthy because you're getting in more variety usually as far as like produce goes and things like that, but it's not the fact that it is like alkaline that makes a difference. And so this dude, it just seems like he is, my personal opinion, seems like he's kind of talking out of his butt. But again, I'm not a radiobiologist, and so I am not going to give that expert response. That is not in my scope. So I need to make a connection with an actual radiobiologist. If you know anybody, again, let me know. All right, so next quick update on BOO, a very high up distributor. He posted recently saying, do you notice the gigantic level of attacks on Black Oxygen lately? It's because the product is making waves and truly helping people. There are over tens of thousands of positive testimonials from lives changed for $1 a day or less. This is going to attract massive attention and jealousy from competitors because so many of them have an overpriced, inferior product. Most of the people talking, who I know at least, who are talking about BOO are not a distributor. They're not selling Fulvic. They're not selling other supplements. Most of them actually are anti-MLM. And so we're not selling anything like that. Poor leadership and envy drives the so-called leaders of the teams to resort to envy-based behaviors to attempt to coordinate attack, slander, and backhanded practices to attempt to sell their inferior products. Again, most people talking about BOO aren't selling anything related to BOO or in any multi-level marketing company. Entire smear campaigns have band together from jealous and envious competitors attempting to stop us at every turn and attempting to take advantage of the roadblocks that our insane growth has caused us. I am proud of each and every one of you here, as I have seen not one slanderous or envious post or an attempt to belittle competition in an attempt to sell the product we work with. Every person in here has stayed in their own lane and focused on helping, healing, and educating people, and have been honest about the results that can be delivered. Keep up the amazing work, everyone, because the brighter you shine, the more attention you attract. And I would say the same for everyone in the anti-MLM movement who is talking about BOO. We're getting seen. The lighter, what did he say? The brighter we shine, the more attention we attract. So let's just continue doing that. Nothing brings out another's true colors like envy does. And every single person here is only cheered for the success of everyone they meet. I can only expect the slander, smear, and backhanded campaigns to get more vicious as the competition gets more and more desperate. Don't stoop to their level. Everyone trying to bring you down is only demonstrating that they're not on your level. Keep it that way. Stay above that. It's okay to vent your frustrations privately and to set clear boundaries and what you will not tolerate publicly. Right, so from here, it seems like he's thinking that everybody who is talking about BOO in a negative light is somehow jealous or envious or has something to sell in competition with BOO, when in reality, we don't want people to get hurt. The majority of people, who, at least from what I can see, who I've talked to, who I've interacted with, people can get really hurt. People are getting hurt. I mean, that's why the whole Health Canada recall was from somebody who had the adverse reaction. And so we are concerned with all of the claims that are being made by BOO distributors. And I had a comment on my BOO video talking about, well, what does the company say, right? Because the distributors can say anything. And that's the problem. The distributors can say anything, and they were currently getting away with it, and we're trying to stop that. We're trying to have those reported so that they can't just say anything, because that is dangerous. That's the point where people start to just recommend like random things, alkaline water, and say that it cured their cancer, and just other things that are not evidence-based. And it can really take advantage of people who either don't know better or who are in very vulnerable situations where they're not thinking in the same way that they might think outside of that vulnerable situation. And so taking advantage of people in situations like that is something that a lot of people have issues with, including myself. That's part of the reason why we are in the movement that we are, and why we do try to bring to light these kind of claims and how dangerous they can be. And so it has nothing to do with jealousy or envy or competition. It's nothing. It's none of those kind of feelings or emotions. It's more about justice. I don't know if that's the right word even. I don't even know. I don't have the right words with me right now for what emotions it is, but it is just about making sure that people aren't getting hurt. And this is why, yes, there are some health professionals who promote BOO, who are part of BOO, but there are a lot of health professionals and non-health professionals who are on the other side. And part of the reason is because that's part of the oath that we have. That's part of when we become that title, when we have that kind of job, we don't want to cause harm. We don't want to have anybody else like causing other people harm either. And so this has nothing to do with jealousy or envy or anything like that. So they are seeing what the anti-MLM community or the movement is doing. And so everybody who is here, who's watching this, who is part of that, continue doing what we're doing. Continue sending those reports over to the FTC and to Tina, or Truth in Advertising. They put everything together really well to send it off to the appropriate places. So just use those resources. We got this. We're mad because of claims like this one, where it says that on the Black Oxygen Organics main page, it says, "Hi, I'm breastfeeding. Can I take this? My baby has eczema." And somebody responded with, "Yes, it would help. I'm a sponsor for BOO. I can ship worldwide." And this was not a troll or anything. Like, they shared their sponsor number. They shared their URL to order the products. It is not safe for people who are chest feeding. It's not. And then another claim of, I'm so interested in trying BOO, but I'm curious if it's safe for those with anxiety or panic attacks and gut health issues. Is there any risk or potential complications? I'd love to hear people's experiences. I'm such a chicken to try new things. And someone responded that they healed their 8-year-old's gut and they are no longer gluten intolerant. There's so much more to digestive health, to gut health, than just being gluten intolerant. That's a dangerous claim to make because so many people aren't aware of all the different things that we think about when practitioners hear the word digestive health. There's so much to think about, and so by having these people just share these kind of anecdotes and recommending them, encouraging them to try when they don't know that person's own digestive health issues, that can be really harmful. And then also for claims like this one.
Okay, so what I feel the difference is with, as far as what this product is, what I always like to tell people is that it's nutrition. It's like, it's not that it's just another supplement. It's not like it's like, hey, here, try this coffee instead, or hey, take this pill and see what it'll do for you, or, you know, something like that. It's literally nutrition that every single living thing, not even just like people in the ages of this to this who aren't pregnant and aren't like, no, like every single living thing, people, babies, pregnancy, pets, plants, like everything needs these minerals. And so I feel like as many ways as we can say that and as many times as we can say that, that's what's been creating the momentum for this product. And that's why so many people who are able to kind of jump into this momentum are able to just like ride it off to the sunset. Oh, well, maybe not quite, but that's what it feels like to me. It feels like we're able to just get in this rocket ship and show the difference of what it is, and then the people who are ready for something like that are gonna jump on it. The people who aren't ready for something like that, that's okay. Maybe they need to go through something else with another company they're with, or maybe they need to try another thing, a solution that they think might work, and then when it doesn't, they're gonna see you continuously posting and being consistent and sharing about it, and then they're gonna come to you, because they're gonna remember you and go, you know what, I think I need to just try that BOO thing, right?
So I left that go a little bit longer so you could hear her say that BOO thing, so you know that she's talking about BOO. So at the beginning, she was saying how everyone needs it, including pregnant people and pets and just everybody across the board. That is not safe. You cannot say that when you're talking about a supplement like that, or any kind of supplement. That is a health concern. These examples are why people are going against BOO. These examples are why we are reporting them and why it's coming to light. It is not based out of envy or jealousy or competition or anything. All right, so we are done with BOO for this video. I have a couple other things to share from Shakeology or BeachBody and then Modere, but when it comes to BOO, I will be trying to update as much as possible just because there are so many things happening and it's really exciting. But some of the things, it just kind of, it falls out of alignment with like what I do normally on this channel, talking about like the nutrition side of things and building that healthy relationship with food side of things, but it's still related in a way and it's still important, and I think it's very interesting. And so let me know if you like these kind of updates and just saying like what the CEOs are saying, all of that stuff, all the kind of news. It won't be groundbreaking or anything. It probably won't be first, but just kind of talking about it. So let me know if you enjoy that, but let's shift over to some Shakeology things that I found interesting. So this first one is from Shaun T's podcast. He actually did a podcast with Autumn Calabrese, talked about Autumn many times. Somebody actually recently on Instagram had recommended that I do a review of Autumn Calabrese's book. So let me know if you want to see that. I am not here to trash Shaun T. I know a lot of people love him, have just had great experiences with his kind of workouts. If you don't know who Shaun T is, he was a creator of Insanity, T25, Let's Get Up, and the BeachBody Super Trainer community. So he has a podcast now, and I wanted to play this clip because I think it highlights something that I find very problematic within BeachBody and also diet culture as a whole.
First of all, I've been in fitness for 20 plus years, 24 years or so. And in addition to that, fitness is our job. Nutrition is our job in a sense. So whereas a lot of people they have a job that takes they're amazing at and they're experts at, and they do that all day long. It would be like me coming into a finance world. I'm like, I need to learn this. But you're like, somebody else could be like, I got this on lock, right? I know this today is helping me because I really want to lose these 6 pounds, not for anything other than performance. It has nothing to do with physique wise. It's all about my performance. So I was like, great. But, you know, I know how much I drink, and I know if the end of the week plus 6 days next week, I need to not touch anything if I have a photo shoot or something. So I just want people to know that it's very true. Like my lifestyle is in addition to the fact that fitness is my career. So I want people to, your point to, not everyone can get away with those things because you're probably squeezing in time to work out. And that's why we create these programs and the nutrition program in combination so that you are able to be at that level of confidence, internal health, you know, physical health, and the look that you want. All right, I'm done. I just wanted to put that up.
So 2 main parts to that. The first part being that he's confirming that they will change their intake before a photo shoot. Not only that people can't always get away with doing that kind of thing because this is their job versus the other people who are just trying to fit in the time of doing physical activity and doing these kind of nutrition programs, that it's going to look different. So if that is the case, then I really don't find it ethical. And again, this is just my opinion, but the fact that they are confirming that they do change their intake a week out from the photo shoots for BeachBody and things of that nature, when they know that the audience for those are people who like can't even have that same amount of energy devotion to it of what they did the previous weeks, especially not that week before. And so if they were selling this kind of program or diet or something that was related to like a short-term fix, if they were selling like this is a program that you can use 6 days, up to 6 days before taking a photo shoot or something, then that would be different. I would say that, yeah, that's still a little bit sketchy, not something I would recommend because that's not health related. At that point, that would purely be just aesthetics and trying to sell a product ultimately. But the fact that it is being promoted to people in a different way, it's not truth in advertising of it, in my opinion, and I don't think it's ethical. It just feels very scammy to me, in my opinion. Let me know how you feel about that. I just don't think that people who are in that position to sell these kind of programs and these products should be like further trying to sell them. And you know why they do it, because that kind of thing sells. Whenever somebody does post up a picture or something like that, like with that change and with that kind of like definition and everything, that is going to sell more. Of course, that's part of dieting culture. That's part of how we view health overall. And so, which is very problematic. I will leave a video talking about health at every size and kind of my deep diving into that and history of dieting and the history of body aesthetics and all of that. But it rubbed me the wrong way. Let me know your thoughts on that though. All right, the next picture is just a picture, not a video, not audio. It says nutrients of like 6 salads and tastes like a milkshake. So no, you cannot, even if it was the amount of nutrients, and salads can be varied by so much, just depending on the types of base, like of the greens, and then also what the other kind of vegetables that are on top of those are. But even if you were to have the nutrients of 6 salads, that's a lot of nutrients, and so your body is probably going to excrete most of them just because it is just so much. It would be better to have that spread out throughout the day. And so if that truly was the case, then I would be like, okay, then it's not the case. But if it was in like a perfect world, then I would say, okay, only have like 1/6 of that and spread it out throughout the day. Don't have it all at once and one digestion period. Secondly, it's not going to be like 6 salads. It's not going to be as satisfying as far as like giving you the same amount of fiber. That fiber is going to really help, and even the mastication process, the chewing process, that tells our brain, it helps our brain to know that we are getting fed. It helps our bodies to feel that fullness versus just swallowing it all down in a liquid form. So it is not the same equivalent. I have seen a lot of BeachBody distributors or coaches talk about it as a kind of equivalent to multiple salads. it is a ridiculous equivalent. It's just not true. All right, so let's move on to the next group of videos. This is something that we have never talked about on this channel before, and that is Modere. It is another nutrition-related MLM company, and if you've seen anybody who is like taking this kind of liquid and putting it into a spoon and then dancing around the kitchen, drinking it, consuming it, that's Modere. So I'm gonna play this without any audio because it was from TikTok, but let's watch it. So it says, I took a supplement and lost 100 pounds. And it's that thing on TikTok where they say it twice, and the second time they're like more excited. So I took a supplement consistently and lost 100 pounds. That's correlation, not actually causation. And we can further see that in this TikTok where she talks about key tips for fat loss. She mentions drink half your body weight in ounces, get enough sleep, eliminate stress, stay off the scale, eat foods you love, finding balance, and giving yourself grace. And then she also says find a supplement to help with it as well. And as I was scrolling through her videos, so many of them were just so focused on that weight piece and that supplement and not talking about all of the other things that she did in order to have that weight change. Modere is not a magical weight loss supplement. It's just a mixture of collagen and conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA. So let's talk about each of those. So CLA is a term that is used to refer to a mixture of fatty acids that have the general structure of a linoleic acid or fatty acids. CLA has been investigated as what effects it has on being this kind of fat burner in human studies. However, those studies are very unreliable and the evidence itself is really lackluster. Looking at the level of evidence from one of my favorite websites, Examine, we can see that the level of evidence for lean mass, so it has a minor magnitude of effect, and its consistency is moderate. So there's some evidence that CLA can preserve lean mass during fat loss in an obese cohort of patients, but even in this subgroup, the results are highly unreliable. And then for the other one of body fat in particular, also moderate. Evidence is too unreliable to conclude an inherent effect of CLA on fat mass. There may be a context-dependent reduction in body fat and explanation for the observed variability, but at this moment in time, too much evidence concludes no effect. And from the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, in their Office of Dietary Supplements, what they say about CLA is that they have the proposed mechanism of action, so increased lipolysis, reduces lipogenesis, promotes apoptosis in adipose tissue, basically helping people to lose weight. That is the proposed mechanism. The evidence of the efficacy for that, if that is working, there are several clinical trials. However, the research findings show the minimal effect on body weight and body fat. And then as far as evidence of safety goes, it says few safety concerns are reported, but some reported adverse effects include abdominal discomfort and pain, constipation, diarrhea, loose stools, dyspepsia, and possibly adverse effects on blood lipids and glucose homeostasis. So it's not enough for me to recommend to anybody, honestly. In my time practicing, I have never recommended CLA. So like you can even see on the product fact sheet how many the product benefits, what they're saying the product benefits are, and like even where it says improves muscle tone or supports fat metabolism, like all of these different claims that they're saying, yes, they have a little star on them that says that the statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. But the fact that we can see with the research, like those claims, even though they have that little star, I would not feel comfortable as a licensed practitioner to recommend this kind of product. It just doesn't stand up to that kind of clinical evidence that would warrant or like encourage me to recommend it ever, at least right now. But the fact that there has been a lot of research on it already, like, I'm not sure that'll change. And then the next ingredient, it is the liquid biocell, which is hydrolyzed chicken sternal cartilage extract, and that provides, it's a type 2 collagen. So they're getting it from chicken, which that doesn't concern me, but for some other people, they might be like, oh, that's gross. But collagen is basically what holds our bodies together. It is found in our skin, our bone, our connective tissue. It's technically, when we're getting it in food form, it's not always going to be a complete protein. A complete protein meaning that it's something that contains all of the essential amino acids that our bodies need that we can't produce on our own. And so because of the structure of collagen, we can't just call it this kind of complete protein. So the structure is going to be kind of amino acids like after another. So it's going to be glycine and then proline or hydroxyproline, and then there's going to be another space for another amino acid. So you can say like X. So you're going to have glycine, proline or hydroxyproline, and then X, and then glycine, proline or hydroxyproline, and then X. And so what is fit in that X spot is going to be dependent on like what the source we're getting it from. And so you can have different amounts of a certain amino acid when it's coming from chicken collagen or beef collagen or fish collagen or human collagen. Like it's going to look different, and that's why we can have the different kinds of collagen. And so if we're not in that X place, if we're not getting all of the essential amino acids in the appropriate amount, then it would not be called a complete protein, which is fine. We can still get benefit from consuming collagen. It's not to say that it's not beneficial in any way, shape, or form, but that's kind of the reasoning or why, yes, even though it comes from an animal, it's not going to be this kind of complete protein. And so because collagen has multiple different jobs in our bodies, there are different types, like type 1, type 2, type 3. Type 1 is going to be the most prevalent in our body. So that's going to be like in our hair, in our skin, in our bones, in our tendons, and in our organs. And then there's type 2, which is mostly in our cartilage. And then type 3, that is mostly within our bones. And it's not like just there, but that's like mostly where it's going to be concentrated at. So when supplementing, if you think about like type 1 and type 3, those are mostly going to be the ones that are focused on like skin and hair, your nails, your bones, things like that. But then type 2 is going to mostly be focused on cartilage. The problem is we have to break that down. We break down the collagen into those individual amino acids. And depending on where the body needs those individual amino acids, that's where they will go. It's not going to magically like go to the areas of your body where it needs that specific amino acids for collagen purposes. Like just because you consume collagen doesn't mean that it's going to end up as collagen either. You can have those same amino acids by consuming other kinds of foods. It's just breaking down from those chains into those individual amino acids. And so that is one reason why, kind of like it's not the same thing with the CLA, because collagen can be helpful, but it's not something that I have everybody do. I hardly have anybody utilizing collagen right now. Sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I don't. It's a way to get in some more protein. It's a protein source, amino acid source, but it's not necessary. It's not required, and it's not going to be helpful for weight loss unless you are replacing that instead of like consuming something else. For the price, at least, it's just not something that, if I had a friend ask me if they should purchase this, I would recommend that they check out, if they really wanted collagen, that they check out either like Vital Proteins or Thrive Markets, their own brand of collagen. That one's also good as well. I've used that one. So as I mentioned, we've never talked about Modere on this channel before. Let me know if you want to see a deep dive on that. I mean, that's usually whenever I hear Modere or I see Modere distributors talking about it, they're talking about they're like pouring that on their spoon and then dancing around their kitchen. That's usually what I see. And it's just so easy. It's just two main ingredients, the CLA and the collagen. And so I don't know. Let me know if you wanted me to do a deep dive on that though. That is it for this video overall. If you like this video, please leave a like and make sure you are subscribed. I have a lot of people who watch my videos who are not subscribed, so if you can click that, that really helps me out, but only if you want to. I will be back. I think the next video is going to be an interview, so be on the lookout for that. And remember, you can strive for health without subscribing to diet culture. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.